another thing that happened this week is Jane Mugo. The leading private investigator in Africa, allegedly
top spy
in the world. But I was telling you guys, this Jane Mugo thing. I actually thought it was comedy until I saw the BBC logo on top of that. So I don't know what you guys feel about this Jane Mugo story.
Imagine kwa cast na BBC upeane tu story yako. Usio umeachieve.
Actually,
in as much as
big.
Even these top media houses and like BBC, I think they're looking for a cloud. Mtu unajua, if I hear this story, unajua inakaa controversial.
Yes.
Nikieka alafu unajua si eti wana the air on their national and international platform. Maybe wanaweka on their social media pages.
Yes.
But I think they're not serious sometimes. So ukiangalia, these are local people and are local investigators who are doing these things.
Yeah.
So maybe it's just one way of relating to the Kenyan market and maintaining.
I feel when you say, however, I think BBC was spot on with this story. One, in a trend.
Yes.
Two, it made people pick interest.
But
the field of private investigation in Kenya.
Yes.
Three, it gave the lady the audience. People now are questioning, who is Jane Mugo? Even people who didn't have interest.
Boss, David. But this thing was just pure comic relief. I mean, it's like I was seeing the feature, and it was like I was watching a DJ Afro movie, my friend. It was pure comedy. And what is the essence of being a private investigator when we all now know how you look like, when we all know how you operate, when we all know how you nini? Because now there's no way Jane Mugo will come and do investigations on me, because she will be following you around, and you will know definitely there is someone who is following you.
Jane Mugo is the face of the company. She's the CEO.
Yes.
When you give the organization the task to investigate, she's not the one who will go on the ground. She will get in touch with the people who seem they don't have that much what can I say? They're not highly recognized. Like person who is selling maize.
Yes.
You never. Do you ever take time to look at the person hawking or standing at your gate?
It's like she showed like the whole crew.
Yes.
She brought
there was that guy called Chaliwan, and then
it's like I saw the entire team.
What Zane did was introduce you to the world of private investigation.
Yeah, to some nini. I was watching the feature, and she was like, this is a teddy bear. It has a camera and this, and then there is a teddy bear which is on duty somewhere. So, my friend,
private investigation in Western countries is a very lucrative industry because one, you are paid to, like, there's trade. You are paid to infiltrate the trading of your rival organization and give trade secrets.
Yes.
You even paid to follow up, like there's a case going on in regard to your company.
Yes.
We can't hire the police. So we need someone who can go to the field and get intelligence for us.
Yes.
That is a field that is not really well captured in the Kenyan system.
Not bad, but I think our Kenyan narrative, we are not like serious unless it's the political side. We can.
I think you guys are saying BBC knew what it was doing by airing that feature, but right now Kenyans, and Kenyans on Twitter, and they moved to YouTube. They started commenting, including right now. If you go to the feature on BBC, they have locked. You cannot comment anymore on that because people were, Kenyans can hate. So people
Kenyans
were
hating.
Good at that. But anyway, to her defense, Jane Mugo came today. I think it was on Twitter, or on Facebook. She was telling us about all the cases that she has handled.
I think that is the aspect where she's breaking her support. You have to have the confidentiality aspect, don't reveal
I saw her with DPA.
She came with around 12 cases that she says she handled. She investigated the NYS scandal. after it was brought about by an activist, and she's saying she's actually the one who uncovered the NYS scandal.
Really?
I think not. Allegedly, this is from her Facebook page. Apparently investigated 10 Carolimeter that was stolen from the Ministry of Health.
This is
she's saying she recovered 6 of them.
To bring this thing to an end. This argument, because we're also staking a reputation.
Yes.
Let's not throw stones at her. She, imagine if she was a sister, your mother. I think she's done well for herself.
Well, she has done well for herself.
In as much as people look at
I saw how she was received at home.
People are usually ready to draw the knife.
And actually she looked like she was getting a little bit too emotional when she was saying that some people were threatening to kidnap her children.
It's not really good how Kenyans, in as much as prophets are never
welcome at the
it's not really good to throw stones every time. Let's support one for once.
I think the comic that was there ndio imefanya
actually
anaruka na mshateke kule something vitu kama hizo, but maybe unajua alikuwa amejihandle, ameingia ofisini, amekaa these are the things, but he was like anajaribu kufurahisha.
Basically you are saying people wanted it to be a little bit more serious, to show the seriousness on the kazi that they are actually doing.
Actually, but anyway, it could be a very good feature because hii ni vitu ambao kama umefanya all those, alafu unajua the kind of clients that Jen has, these are top guys.
Anyway, speaking about the clients that Jen has, I think Najib Balala should take up Jen Mugo services. Last week he said he was looking for Lupita for 5 years. My friend, Jen Mugo is there now. A magical Kenyan investigator. Atapata Lupita mara hiyo. So mwache maneno. Our former benevolent governor of Nairobi, super governor Mike Sonko mwenyewe, man of the people, this week proved that he is a complete snitch, if I may say, because Mike Sonko cannot be trusted, to be honest. That is my feeling. Mike Sonko records everything, records everyone. You cannot have a genuine conversation with him, a one-to-one personal conversation with him, because you will be very afraid that he will be recording and then he will release it later to your detriment. So
something funny, like why are people so like what wana confine stories zao na yeye kwa nini? Was it because alikuwa governor ndo bado watu wana confine? Kwa sababu kama amekuwa nayo history yenye ana expose even confidential calls kama zile ambazo amezitoa, I think it's a risk. And kama unaona vitu kama saizi ametoa, alafu does it mean pia akikosana na the current government kama itakuwa ataanza kuwa exposed to traces questions hapo?
I think everyone in politics kuna means anatumia kusurvive. One, you either have power, two, you either have the people, three, you either know venye cartels nafanya in their weak points. Sonko is dealing with cartels. These are underground people. Huyu ni mtu mwenye tuongea na hii sahi kesho hapa na watu Sonko anasema deep state. And the only way to deal with those people is they don't like the light being cast on them.
True.
So afadhali wanyamazie kitu lakini usipeleke kwa media.
So Sonko basically is trying to blackmail these people.
Exactly.
And what does that mean?
Is it working out? Because
it's not working out so far.
It's working out. Sikibicho ametokea akaenda kwa court.
Ameenda
what does that mean? It's working.
It's not working. He has gone to court and Sonko has not proved anything. He's just making nini.
Kibicho is trying to sanitize himself.
He's trying to mute Sonko. And even Cyprian Nyakundi was smart and said, don't finish Sonko because he's exposing you guys. These people usually have so many underground dealings and hataki any light equal shed on what is happening.
Okay, now Sonko in the past like 3 weeks has exposed the Kenyatta family, the sister who was trying to force a deputy governor nominee on him. He has exposed Kibicho. We are actually waiting for that evidence. By the way, Sonko kama uko nayo weka mtandaoni, we just waiting for it.
It doesn't even need evidence. It's all about perception. Power and perception. Power is where people believe it is, hata kama haiko. No. People now know Sonko was a victim and they have that personal vendetta to prove against Kenyatta that in fact hiyo ni ya Sonko, dozi ya Sonko, it had a very big impact kwa historia ya BBI na nini venye na even to ile story ya baba.
Me personally, right now if I were Ruto, I will not definitely put Sonko in close. I'll not put him close. I'll not put him around my kitchen nini exactly, because right now we have seen he's hanging out with Ruto. So what about if there is a case of sour grapes? Will he also expose the things they were doing with Ruto? So Ruto needs to be very careful.
Politics is all about mutual interest and knowing your friends.
Yes.
I know kawe ni fala, although I need you.
Yes.
I'll just have to find a way to use you. No.
Yes. But I know Sonko has akona ile share of benefiting these Ruto guys are benefiting from, because kuna tu kale ka group yenye Sonko akikuja anapata that sympathy kutoka kwao. My view ile naona Sonko akona wave fulani ya vijana.
He's still very influential, especially around Nairobi.
Yeah, around Nairobi. As much as maybe Ruto might not bring him close na ampatie all the secrets and maybe unataka move. He will be very careful with
the interests are tied.
Yeah. The interests are tied.
The interests are tied at the moment, but you know, when you're dealing with him, you have to think about
actually, you know what I can say? The battle for 2022 is shaping.
Yes.
And it's all about interest. Interests are taking sides.
Yes.
Kila mtu anajua side anaanguka. Baba is still BBI, going solo, and if he goes solo, you always know there's no permanent enemies. Never fight for a politician.
By the way, don't even fight for
never there.
Hawa tu kaa chini na kunyoka hawa pamoja.
Sisonko alikuwa anatukanana na nani? That guy from Mombasa. Joho.
Yeah.
And then wananywa the same kinyozi. Na wanapigia baba anapiga story. Never fight for a politician.
And Sonko also exposed Baba this week. He said he went to see Baba. Baba was trying to tell him this and this and this. So I think Mike Sonko is the Edgar Obare of Kenyan politics. Actually.
Nice. But why are these big politicians putting so much trust on Sonko? Because kama amefanya all these exposures,
because they need him, because he has the influence,
the resources
to be able to mobilize people, especially around Nairobi.
And also
he's a big guy in city
Sonko
politics.
knows where to step and where to live.
Yeah, so
Sonko started saying way even before the time he was chosen, he had already pointed out the people who don't want him on that seat.
Starting with Kibicho, they have had a love-hate relationship with Kibicho for a very long time.
Sonko has never been strategic. My view. Mimi naona tu Sonko anaweza amka asubuhi na asema, you know, the government is bad, Ruto is bad, Raila is bad, I've done this. That's
what we are trying to say.
But Sonko doesn't act strategic. Maybe anaweza kaa chini aseme, you know, this is way hivi ndio mimi nataka nikue. Sonko mimi naona tu anaweza amka asubuhi claim, you know, we can do this, ama mnaweza kwa mmeongea leo jioni, asubuhi hivi jioni amebadilika kabisa.
Do you know what I can say? Every individual has his own way of survival. I still come back to that. Okay. Sonko's way of survival. Sonko rose from an MP in Eastland. A councillor.
MP, senator. No, Aqua councillor.
MP, senator, governor within how many years?
Within actually 3 elections consecutive.
3 consecutive. That is not. Wezi sema Ujama is foolish. And so, who was he against in those runs? That should tell you something. Unajua unaweza despise mtu ati huyu sijui anafanya nini, but the results speak for themselves.
Sonko works with not strategy but influence.
Uta edit up, but we have to connect Sonko na Edgar Obare.
Yeah, we're still coming to that.
Okay.
Okay, I'm saying Sonko works with influence. He doesn't work strategically. Because, you know, Sonko works with influence in anaweza enda sehemu fulani ambie what, you know, I'm the right guy, I'ma support this person. I think Sonko use...
Which politician doesn't?
I know, but you know, there are guys who will tell you, like, strategically, I have this A and B, C that I want to do for you. But Sonko, with or without policies, Sonko will influence people too.
I know we have gotten so much into this Mike Sonko thing. Yeah. We all agree that he's an influential guy in the city.
In the cities.
In city politics, he's very influential.
Yeah.
They're trying to push him to Machakos, but actually here in Nairobi is bedrock of politics. But the way he's behaving like Edgar Obare, and that is the problem, and that's what we are discussing here today, because Mike Sonko cannot continue acting like this, recording conversations, releasing them later, and he's becoming very untrustworthy, to be honest.
Why do you think he needs to? Do you need him to trust each other with Sonko, or
because
you need him to play by your book?
Not to play by my book. You need him. You need to be able to trust that he's not going to reveal your secrets, because in attaining power, you step on toes, whether good ones or bad ones, but you step on people's toes. And when we have formed that let's call it unholy alliance, and it's leading you somewhere. You have to just keep quiet and you follow the plan and you reach there. When you reach there, you keep quiet like all men. Don't be a snitch.
Me, basing from history, when you analyze vitu.
Yes.
I love rabble rousers.
So you
like unachokora nyumba sijui unapata order.
So you like Edgar Obare?
I love Edgar Obare.
You like Edgar Obare?
Of course. Kama si Edgar Obare tungejua vitu. Edgar Obare amefichua vitu mingi sana hii Kenya.
You know we have seen two movies. We saw Romeo Must Die. David Hasselhoff Must Die. We need a Kenyan version, and it's Edgar Obare Must Die. His hair red. No. so that we always notice Edgar Obare where he is by dyeing his hair red, and then we are going to be careful around him, because the next thing you're going to see yourself online. Umekwa mtandaoni.
Nyakundi and Edgar Obare.
Yes.
Those people are trailblazing.
But
we need society yenye kila kitu inakuwa brought in the open. Hii kitu ya kujificha nyuma ya shadows yet tunaongea deals that it's we are not. Tuambiane tu ukweli.
Me I personally believe and I live by the rule not to be a snitch. Don't be a snitch. Especially in people's relationships. Why you can expose corruption and holy alliances and everything, but why are you exposing people's personal things? This is a two-person thing. Don't be coming in between
the relationship. I think Edgar Pierre goes too much.
He goes too much
on it.
It's
as
too
if
much.
Is the this is the way you used to say. Akiingia
go back to our cancel,
najua but
it's almost like
anafa kuingilia pia even the politics, the corruption side, the hizi vitu zina happen kwenye government offices. I think he has that capabilities. Yako na watu ambao wana snitch wanaingia kwenye DM yake kumtumia. We need also those people to DM him.
He has focused himself too much on this relationship thing. This is a relationship is a two-person thing. When you start entering there, you're just trying to destroy things.
Sasa, you guys, you are in a relationship and you bring it to showbiz and you don't expect people to discuss it. What do you...
There's no one who has brought this thing to showbiz.
You keep it secret.
Yeah, there's no one who has brought this thing to showbiz.
You brought it to secret. The moment people know, ati maze kumbe unakuaga ni wa ule. So, ninakuaga hapa hivi pia kwa showbiz. Yes, in open. People must discuss it.
Yeah, but that's also a point.
That's also I agree it's a point, but just don't be going out there looking for information about someone's relationship. It's none of your concern. It's none of your business.
Kudos, keep it up. Say inakaa ni maheto Edgar Obare na Edgar Obare ndio pia anachangamsha hii showbiz. Mwenye mnyamaze tu na mdiscuss mwende huko.
You know it's very bad. Especially
so okay.
You know when you have a relationship with someone, maybe you had a relationship with someone, it's very bad for someone to profit out of it, and it's not the two of you, it's someone else actually profiting out of it. Edgar Obare profits out of the relationships of people. So it's not a good thing.
Maybe it's a good thing
to him.
It might be a good thing to him, but ni vile it's affecting a lot. It's affecting a lot of, especially men. Mimi nimeona men ndo wamekuwa victim on this.
Yeah.
So ni kila kitu maybe akishafanya once, wacha atulie.
Edgar Obare ni mama wa soko. You remember that time he exposed Natalie Tewa. Yeah, this lady called Natalie Tewa. People look for him. He was crying. He was crying. Why was he crying if he is actually man enough?
Where did I get to know that lady? Where did they get to know her?
Internet.
Through the internet.
Your point is valid.
No, not through Edgar
valid.
The lady was already firmly established before even Edgar Barrett.
Established, you know, she was showing a
She was a YouTuber. She was an influencer.
So you don't want people to discuss your life and you are showing
discuss what they have shown there.
There's
she used to have travel blogs. Discuss travel. Why are you discussing her relationship, which she has not brought to the public domain?
There is no negative news.
Actually, negative.
Once imeenda huko,
negative publicity sells.
Exactly. Sells. So
I think this Bobari guy ana try ku thrive on this negative publicity. Even though sana anapata traffic kwenye page yake.
My friend, I repeat, Edgar Obare ni mama wa soko. And it can be proven by the time he was arrested, he was crying like a little child here saying,
I saw photos
this and this. Ndio alafu then he starts showing some marks, is removing his sweater showing marks. My friend, wewe ni mama wa soko. Hakuna kitu kingine.
People,
hiyo mimi nimejitoa. Usiniende kule ndani.
Wewe tuanike kama unataka kutoa.
Edgar, umesikia?
Keep it up.
Edgar anaitwa KB. Handles zake ndio hizi hapa.
Keep it up.
Do research.